Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name's Rivka. If someone would let me know if we are coming through all right. I'm on a new computer with a new camera and a new mic, and I want to make sure everything is going okay. Coming through clear. All right, thank you so much, guys. All right, I'm going to get us started recording here, and then we'll go through everything, and I'll introduce myself again, and we'll have hopefully a good time. So, like I said, my name's Rivka Bet. You can always email me, rivka@punktorah.org. I encourage you to do so. I always appreciate feedback, and I love talking to people. So please feel free to get a hold of me. So tonight, we're going to be doing Tisha B'Av. We're going to do a little bit of 101 about the holiday, a little bit of backstory, maybe something a little interesting. And then we're going to move on, and we're going to do something, instead of doing the Book of Lamentations or finding some dirges or whatever to listen to tonight, or reading the Book of Job or whatever. We're going to do some more contemporary poetry. We're going to do a couple different types of poetry, and we'll see what you like and what you don't like, and that'll kind of dictate where we're going to go. Because what this is for you guys. So bear with me if I'm a little odd. Please shoot out your questions. If you're just a viewer, please join in the chat room so I know what's going on and you can communicate with the rest of us, and we can all have a great conversation together. So let's start with a little bit of 101. Tisha B'Av, what is it? Well, it is a fast holiday. It's the 9th of Av, the month of Av. It's mostly celebrated in Jerusalem, but of course outside as well. It is mainly a day of mourning, mainly for the destruction of the first and second temples, the two temples, for that matter, in Jerusalem, which occurred nearly exactly 655 years apart, according to sources. So, what else has happened on this for us to be so, what are we remembering? So, the 5 main things that we're supposed to be remembering, according to Mishnah, is about the fate of the 12 spies sent by Moses to observe the Lion of Canaan, and how they disparagingly, except for 2 of the spies, talked about the Promised Land on their return, and caused so much problem with the Israelites' lack of faith. So that kind of sucked, right? The first temple, we got that one. The second temple, that's their first 3. The fourth one is the Romans crushed the Bora Korba's revolt and destroyed the city of Beltar, killing 100,000 Jews in 132 CE. Following that, there was a revolt, and the Roman commander that did end up winning that revolt, Terminus Rufus, plowed the site of the temple and surrounding area in around 133 Common Era. Now, this all sounds terribly technical, I know. Just so you know a little bit of background on the Bar Kokhba, and forgive me if I pronounce these things wrong. I have a very American and German accent whenever I speak anything, particularly a German accent when I speak words. What you really need to know about this revolt is it's from 132 to 136 CE. It's called the Third Jewish-Roman War, the Third Jewish Revolt. It would be the third in the series after the Great Jewish Revolt in 70 CE against the Romans that resulted in the destruction of the temple. And this was really like kind of the last-ditch effort to keep a Jewish kingdom together, and it was quashed. So that's, kind of the end of the era that is being lamented. But what have we really learned about Tisha B'Av over the many, many, many centuries since then is that calamity just seems to strike on that day. Of course, it could be any day. Statistics can be 78% of, all statistics are made up anyways, right? But there's lots of things that coincide and are things that we should be remembering. And what's especially interesting is that you have, for instance, in 1290, England expelled the Jews on the 9th of Av. In 1306, France did it. And in 1492, Spain did it. So we get this whole idea of exile. It kind of starts out a little bit earlier when the first Crusades officially commenced in 1096 on the 9th of Av. And really the way, and this was something that was really weird for me to learn when I got a little bit older after having grown up with the Arthurian mythology, is that the Crusades really got started kicking by going through Europe and going, you're not a Christian, you're a Jew, and therefore we're going to mow you down too. And that caused lots and lots of deaths and lamenting. What's interesting that I didn't quite get to about the Bar Kokhba revolt is that once this revolt was put down, the Roman authorities took measures to suppress the rebellious ways of the province of Judea and expelled all the Jews, even those Jews who were following Jesus around about that time. Even the Jews that didn't fall into they were the early Christians. They weren't quite still just Jews. And this is where history kind of draws that big line between the difference between Christianity and Judaism.